welcome to Tuesday Craft Day. And today we're going to be working on another Easter project, or I guess it could be just a spring project. We're going to be making a poly burlap flower using a non-raveling petal. I did one of these a while back in black and white, and I'll link the card up here somewhere that will show you where that video is if you want to go back and watch it. But this again is using leftover mesh. If you remember, just recently we did the cross for Easter on the UITC board, and I had some mesh left of both colors. And so I thought, well, I hate, you know me, I hate leaving anything and not using it up. So I had a 10-inch frame that I got from Amazon, and I thought, well, I'm going to make a flower that could be almost like a companion hanging with the cross. If the cross were on the door, the flower could be on the wall. So I'm going to put it together. I'll show you how I make the petals, and then we'll see if we can figure out what to put in the middle of it, because I really am still thinking on that part, but we'll get it done. So I want to stay, before we get started, I want to give Julie over at Julie's Wreath Boutique, say that 3 times fast, thank you for giving me a shout out on her channel this past week. She made a really pretty Easter rail, and I'll leave a link to that video down in the description box. Go head over and see it. And the reason I want to give her a shout out is because she is my inspiration for any of the poly burlap flowers. I had never done them until I followed a couple of her tutorials. And I haven't done that many, but I have done several. And I have another one planned for a little bit later, like a summery, springy, just a pretty and pink and white will be coming up shortly. But for today, it's purple and leftover mesh. So get down and sit down, enjoy, and I'll be right back, and we'll get started making petals. Back in just a second. Okay, I'm going to start by showing you how I attach the mesh to the inside of this. You can see that I have traced the inside circle on a piece of mesh, and I'm just going to turn it over and grab some zip ties. I'm going to need a lot of them, so we'll put a lot out here. Start like that. And I'm just going to go around this outside frame in 4 or 5 different spots. I'm using the inside wire, and I'm not going to tighten it totally until I put one on the opposite side. Get over here. And then I will take both of these and tighten them, try to make it as even as possible. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other 2 sides. We'll go here. I'm going to have to get my glasses so I can see which way my zip tie is facing. And one on the other side. take them both. I try to get it as centered as possible. And just tighten it down. Okay, now I think I might put two more right here. It'll just give it a little bit, it'll stay a little flatter. But we'll just do the same thing. And they're tight now, so it's really not going to go anywhere. And this is one of these wreaths that you pre-make your petals. So I'm going to show you how I make them. And then I will get them made and we'll come back. And this again, like my other one that I did, and like I said, I'll leave a link for that one in the description box or in a card, one of the two. I'm using leftover mesh, and I like to find things that I can do that can use some of this leftover mesh. There we go. Okay, so that is all on there now. Okay, now let's see what these petals look like. I'm using this, like it's sort of a, it's called a check mesh, and we used that just the other day in the cross on the UITC board. And then I have the solid purple in the Poly Burlap. So let's show a couple of these. Okay, now I'm going to go, I have my good sides left and right. I'm going to go up here. Okay. And trying to keep them as even as possible. Now normally when we make a petal, and we've made them before, we gather it here and then this is the petal up here. But we're going to use it basically upside down. What I'm going to do is say I've got a third, and a third. All right? I'm going to make a pleat at the beginning of this third, and I'm going to make a pleat at the beginning of this third. Okay? Then I'm going to take this side and just kind of walk it up there. And I'm going to take this side and just kind of walk it up. There. So now I have this as a petal. And what's good about this petal is there's no raw edges. But now we're going to make the petal ahead of time. And that's going to drive me crazy. Get that out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to take a zip tie and I'm going to go around, making sure I've got those two wings that I brought in, making sure they're all included so there's no raw edges. And you can just go back and kind of shape your petal. And you see you have two nice pleats and no raw edges. So let's get rid of this. Now the thing with these petals is you need to trim them because this is too much. And I have this tool here, I got it on Amazon, and it's really something for tree trimming. but it's very sharp, and for me, being left-handed, it works so much better than scissors, because scissors, of course, are made for right-handed people unless I spend the extra money to get left-handed scissors. So there you go. There's your petal. Let's do another one. Okay, left and right. This is at the end, and it's really curly here. Okay. Trying to keep these as close to being even as possible. That point really doesn't make that much difference because it's not going to be cut off. Okay, but here's the middle. So I make a pleat on this side of the middle. I make a pleat on this side of the middle, and I hold them together. Then I'm going to take this wing and I'm just going to walk it in. And I'm going to take this wing and I'm going to walk it in. And hold them all together there, and I have my petal. Take the zip tie. Go around the petal, making sure I'm capturing all those loose ends. Make it nice and tight. Trim that off. And you see this? I didn't get that end in there. And that's what we want to avoid. So let me just do that one again. Get that down here. There we go. There we go. And I shall trim this. And there's my petal. Now you see you have a petal, you have the two pleats that are coming up over here. And on the bottom you have the two valleys. You want to remember when you're putting it on the frame, you always want your pleats up. Alright, I'll make one of these. It's the same thing, but we'll just show you. I'm going to go over. I'm going to pleat this third. I'm going to pleat this third and hold them together. Then I'm just going to pull this piece in. And pull this piece in. And here's my petal. And I shall zip tie it. Well, if I can get a hold of the zip tie, I will. There we go. And I got it on backwards, but I fixed it. Isn't that pretty? It looks a little different because of the window pane, doesn't it? Or it's not a window pane, it's a check. Okay, I'm going to continue making petals, and when I've got enough made, we'll come back and we'll start putting them on the wreath. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, here we are back with the wreath, and I'm going to start putting these on. I'm going to use, and you want to make sure that your mountains are up. Okay, your pleats. I'm going to use the second wire. And I'm planning to put 2 in each section. Well, we'll just see how that works out. That's what I cut for because that's what I used before. But we'll see. If I have to cut more, I can. It sure makes it easier once you've got these made. Now this looks like it's going to need 3. So I'm going to do the 3, which means I will have to cut some more. But we'll get these on first. I don't want them to necessarily overlap, but I want them to fill in. Now let me just see. Yeah, I think I like the 3. The 2 is a little bit too far apart, yeah. I think I'll just put a few more on and then cut them all at once. Some frames just seem to be a little, I don't know, they're all 10 inches, but for some reason they fit better on some than they do on others. But we'll make it work. We'll just have to go cut some more. So there'll be that's filling in nicely. So there'll be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 instead of 10. So let's hope I have enough mesh to get 5 more, and then a little bit more for the middle too, probably. We'll see. I have another shade of purple that if I have to use that for the middle, I can. It's just a little bit lighter which probably wouldn't look bad at all, but we'll see. I thought I had used a 10-inch frame before. I might have used an 8, which would explain the difference. Oop. And rolling right along here. I see I did get this piece cut all the way. There we go. Should be 3 more. There you go. There's the outside. I'll start with the purple ones in the next row. I'm going to use the 3rd bar for this one, and I'm going to put one in between each one of these. But I won't have enough of this cut right now because let's try going the right direction. I'm saying, why is that not working? Because I had 10 cut. I need 15. But we'll get to see what it's going to look like. I think it's going to be pretty. third row. And I have my zip tie upside down. I changed the camera angle. We'll see if you see a little bit better here, because I'm left-handed and I think I was blocking myself. We'll see. This is pretty, huh? Putting 3 in there gives me a little challenge to get one in between all of them. But I think we can do it. Oh, mercy. Mercy, mercy. And I have one more. And then I'll go cut some more. You have to rearrange them a little bit. that pretty? Okay, let me go cut a few more petals and I'll be back. Alright, I finished the second row and now I'm starting on the third and I'm going in the mesh for the third row. And I put the first one in so I could kind of gauge where I want to put them. And I'm about, I'd say 2 inches in, 1.5 to 2 inches. And I'm just going down through the mesh and up through the mesh. And putting it on right side up. And I did that one backwards again. Oh, Donna. Now I had to cut some more of these too, so we'll see how many extras I have to make. That's really looking pretty though. That third row kind of gives it a good finishing, doesn't it? I like that in between. Let me get... Alright, I got to make a couple more here. I've got some cut. So we'll just make them and put them on. Okay, I'm going to pleat it up on this third. I'm going to pleat it up on this third. Walk this edge right down there and walk this edge right down there. And pinch them together. And zip tie around it. Cut off the extra. And clean up my mess. It makes a mess when you cut them. Down through the mesh and up through the mesh. Now you can see what happens if you rotary cut this kind of mesh, but that's all going to be chopped off, so that doesn't make any difference. That was a mess. Get in there. Well, I don't think I need that last one. I think we're well covered. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And that check mesh makes it really a ruffly looking row, doesn't it? All right, let's see if we can find something to put in the middle. I'll be right back. All right, let's see what we can find for the middle. I have this foam disc, and what I did this time is I just put the wire down through the middle of it because I'm out of those florist pins. So you just have to be careful when you put it through like this. Don't pull it too hard, you'll go right through. So what I did is I pulled it through and then I twisted it on the back, and I'll add a little glue. Put a little glue right along here. And it should help keep it from falling through. Now, I'm going to take this ribbon, this pretty polka dot ribbon, and I'm going to just go around the edge, keeping the bottom edge flush. Okay? Let me just measure so I don't have this whole roll here I'm working with. So it should be around here. And that's because I'm going to put a big flower in the middle of this on the top, and it will hide the overlap on the top. So let me just get it started here. And so far, I am really loving this glue gun. I'll show it to you again in a minute. I got it at Amazon, and it's battery operated. Let me just get this out of the way for now. And what I love about it is it stands up. Yay and yay. And when you're working with ribbon and hot glue, you have to be careful because it will come right through the ribbon. This ribbon is pretty Eastery. Now I can always take these and just bend them down. I might do that, just to add a couple of dollops around. Okay. And this has good wire in it, so it goes down nicely. Okay. Now I have the matching flower that we put on the cross wreath. So this is sort of like a companion wreath to the other one. So let's see what we can do with this. This is a big Gerber, I believe. And I'm going to put this right through that. Well, not through it, but in it. And then add some glue around the base here. Oh, that is gorgeous. I think what I'm going to do is to add just a little touches of glue around and glue some of those bottom petals down so they'll cover good. And I can always put some leaves down. A little bit over here. Isn't that something? See the middle of it? Isn't that pretty? Well, let's see. Let's see what we shall see. I'm just going to go right down through the middle here. Give it a couple of good twists. cut it off. And then I'm just going to stick these back down through the mesh. Look at that. Let's see if I can get it in. I'm going to put it on the door here in a second. You can see it. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Give me a second and I'll get it up on the door. There you go. Look at that pretty, pretty flower. And there's no raveling involved because all of the raw edges are covered. They're all folded on the inside. That came out so pretty. And there's a couple of things you could do with it. Look at that flower. I can hang it on the wall like it is now, or I can lay it on my coffee table, the other coffee table, and I bet it would make a beautiful centerpiece. So I'm going to make a decision, and I'll put a picture up on my community page when I decide what I'm going to do with it. But I think it came out great. I have exactly 10 inches of dark purple mesh left out of the mesh. Perfect. It used all the leftovers. So hang in there. I'll be right back with a couple of closing remarks. So what did you think of that? Oh, let me move you over just a little bit so I'll be in the middle, kind of. What did you think of that? I think it came out really nice. And I'm going to take a picture of it. You saw it on the door. And then I'm going to take a picture of it when it's on my coffee table. And I'll let you guys vote. I'll put it on my community tab. And you guys can vote on where I should keep it. Should I hang it on the wall or should I put it on the coffee table? So in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here and you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you hit that subscribe button and the bell, and you'll get notified when we come out to play. I'm going to be with you again on Friday and possibly on Sunday, probably. But then I'm going to be taking a week off next week because our son from Massachusetts and his girlfriend will be visiting. And I would like to spend the time with them instead of spending the time in the shed doing a wreath or someplace else. And the other reason is you can see behind me the bed with wreath materials and everything all over it. And that's the guest room I'm in. So I have to clean this sucker up and get ready for people instead of just playing in it. So I will see you Friday and probably Sunday for dinner for two. Chinese this week. Chinese, if you like Chinese. And then I will not see you next week until the Monday following, which will be Monday 21st, 28th. I think it's the 28th. Yesterday was the 14th, and 7 is 21, and 7 is 28. So I think it'll be the 28th. But until then, until Friday, I hope you have a great afternoon. Stay safe. Play by the rules. And everybody, play nice now. Thank you. I love ya. See you Friday. Bye-bye.